everybody, this is Tim. Welcome back to another episode of the Boone County Beekeeper. Now today it is Saturday. It's the 22nd day of February. Guys, we are almost through February and I am so glad. I'll be glad when we get February behind us. It's been a tough winter. We'll talk about that in a minute. It's been tough. Apologize the way I look. Been a rough day, been busy. Had to put my wife's car, had to put a battery in it and hung a light over top of my door on my workshop there outside and got it all wired up. So waiting for nightfall to see how it does. And I come up to change the battery on our fence, and I thought, well, be a good time just to talk for a minute. So that's what we want to do today. Now, let's start with the weather, man. It's been a rough one. I'm not going to kid you. It started back in the summer, and we had that awful hot drought for months. It was bad. And November, December was fairly well. It was good. It was, I don't know, it was mild, fairly wet. But boy, when you got to January and February, I don't know, can you see it or snow? You can probably see snow behind me. It's been tough, man. We've had one cold snap right after the other. If you remember a few videos back, one there before the end of the long hive video, as you can see, I'm down to 4 colonies. I've lost 4 guys, and we'll talk a little bit about that today. We've lost 4. I hope these 4 will pull through. I do. A couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we got in there and we give them a fondant patty, a Hive Alive fondant patty. We give them some sugar, and I don't know what else to do. I'm going to try, if the good Lord's willing, this coming weekend coming up, if the weather's pretty good, I'm going to pop a top on them again just to make sure everybody, has got plenty. Make sure they've got a little bit of sugar or a fondant patty or something, because there's still nothing coming in. Usually this time right now, this week here, we start getting a little bit of red maple, but with this weather, as cold as it's been, it's still a week or 2 away easily. And from what I'm seeing on the weather, it's going to be in the 40s and 50s this week. And from what they're saying, man, we're going to be in next week for another polar vortex and possibly some more snow. Man, I'm so tired of snow. If you watch me at all, I'm not a winter kind of guy. But, buddy, we've had some winter this year. Now, let's talk a minute about our colonies. I took them home. As you can see, I took everybody out of here that was dead. And I took them home, and I went through them real good, and I got rid of all the dead bees and saved what I could. And I'll be honest, I got rid of a lot of stuff. Had some different reasons, I think, why they died. Now, this one, it was right down here where that little 7-framer, that was the fake apame. I think my moisture is what got me on that one. For whatever reason, I got wet down on that end. I don't know what happened, and don't know where it come from. I don't know. That's the only one that I seen that was like that. The one down on the end beside the Hive IQ, it was kind of small. I was worried about it. Them bees was sick. I don't know what happened. There could have been mites. Very possibly could have been mites. They was sick for whatever reason. They'd used the bathroom and everything up in the top where the sugar is at. And I'll be honest with you, I saved my boxes, and I've had them out in this freezing cold weather. But most of them frames, I got rid of them. I canned them. So if I have a question, man, I don't reuse anything like that, because I don't want to spread something to the rest of my bees. Now, the other 2 down there, let me tell you about them. That was weird. I think they just starved to death. And they had plenty of food. Don't get me wrong. They had plenty. But when I got into those 2, I noticed the clusters wasn't humongous. They was small. But the cluster would be like right here, and they would be like 2 inches from honey. They started on the front, and they eat their way to the back. And for whatever reason, this cold weather, they did not move back into that honey. They didn't do it. They starved. had her little butts. You can see it sticking out in the cells. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is for that. I mean, we've had some brutally cold weather, and that's what I think happened on those bees right there. Now, I don't know. Um, One thing for sure, as we go into next year, into winter, if I'm still alive and good Lord's willing, things are going to look really a lot different for me. I've kind of changed my outlook on everything, and I'm going to try some different things, and we're going to see what happens. I'm going to do the condensing hive. Almost done that now. I mean, but I have a little bit of ventilation at top, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go more insulation on top. If you look at this hive IQ right here, that's basically what it is. It's a condensing hive, and it's airtight. A lot of insulation, and them bees have really done well this year, through the summer and through the winter. So it's really made an impression on me. So we're going to try some different things this year coming up. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room for a minute. And that is, unless you're not a beekeeper, unless you don't watch the news and YouTube and all that, you probably know that there is a colony collapse across the United States, and we're not going to talk a lot about that today. There's a million videos out there on it right now. Nobody really knows what it is. Everybody's got some good assumptions. We'll just have to wait and see. And I'm not going to weigh in on what I think it is. If I had to speculate, I would probably say it's come down to some kind of mite issue if I was a betting guy, but I'm not. So we'll just wait and see what they come up with. But I do wonder about the apivar, the amitraz. That's what I treat with. I predominantly use apivar and a lot of oxalic acid. I don't know. We've had such a weird time. I'll say this, back when we had that drought back last summer, it started about June, and I did notice, after the flow was over, I really feed heavy up into fall, and then I've got a big Japanese knotweed patch here behind you. They usually bring it in pretty good, and they top everything off with that knotweed honey, and that's what I always rely on for the winter. For whatever reason, this last summer, I could not get those colonies where I want them to be. They didn't eat, great. Some of them wouldn't hardly eat at all. And I always say sick bees don't eat, So, yeah, I had a couple there that I struggled with. But none of them seemed to really want to put a lot of weight on. And I don't know what that was. Was it the drought? We got to the knotweed flow, and there basically was no nectar for the bees. The knotweed just didn't happen this year, and I know that's probably due to this drought. So we kind of went into winter a little lighter than what I wanted to, but I made sure everybody had food on top. So treating, I treated with apivar, like I said, oxalic acid. I did more oxalic acid this year than I've ever done in my life, and I hit them there around Thanksgiving time. I hit them again at Christmas time. That one there at Christmas was like 2 or 3 days after Christmas, and there should have been no brood in there. I don't know. Was my bees, some of them already dead at that time? I don't know what to tell you. I don't. So what's happened? I don't know. But here's what I want to pose to you. I want to ask you a question, and I've been thinking a lot about this. And I wonder, if you know me at all and you watch any of my videos, I love to catch swarms. Now, I do. I love to hang my boxes, catch these swarms. I just wonder, it'll be interesting to see. Last year, caught 9, and I quit because probably could have caught some more. But absolutely, everywhere you hung a box, seems like last year, you caught a big swarm. They was all big swarms except one that I had here. They was all big. I don't know. I'm wondering, what is this year going to be like? personally, I don't know that it'll be that good. With this colony collapse, how did, that's mostly affected mostly the commercial beekeepers. I see people that's lost everything they had. Some of them's lost thousands, of colonies, and it's crazy. So it makes me wonder what is happening out there in the woods to the feral colonies. Did a lot of them die? Is it some kind of disease? I don't know. So that makes me wonder what this swarm season is going to be like. And then I always start hanging my boxes about the third week in March, which is right around the corner. It's coming up. Everything's a little later this year, but I'll probably still hang them about the same time. Usually start catching them in April, mid-April. Sometimes it goes up into May. But I'm curious. If you think about it, if you had a lot of bees to die off in the wild, well, that's one thing. That's less to swarm, so that would be less swarms that you could catch. But what I'm wondering is if you had a bunch to die off, how's our boxes going to stand up to that? If I was a bee and I found me a colony, a dead out, that had plenty of, insulation, had plenty of space, had plenty of comb already established, if it had plenty of honey, left over, versus a little old 50-liter swarm box with one frame of brood frame in there, I'm probably going to go to the tree, That's probably where I'm going to go. And I'm wondering if that's not what's going to happen with these bees. That is, if these feral colonies has been affected by this. I don't know. Time will tell. That's what I was wondering. I wanted you to think about that. Let me know your thoughts. What kind of a swarm season do you think it'll be? We'll have to wait and see. Time will tell. I need to catch a couple. I'm going to try to do some splitting. I definitely want to try to split out of the Hive IQ. Them's buck fast. I want to get me a good split off of there if I can. And definitely, Old Glory down there, I want to get some, maybe 1 or 2 splits off of that colony there, because they've been some great bees. They've been some very strong bees, and they've been through a lot. You know their story. They've been through a lot, and they seem to really be doing well. Hopefully this week, I can't get up here, but my dad, he comes by when it's warm, and he'll come by and he checks all my colonies for me, see who's flying, who's not. If I can get in there, they was already in the top there on Old Glory. I need to get some more sugar on them. I give them plenty, but I'm sure they're blowing through it pretty quickly. So that's about it, guys. I just wanted to kind of get on here and pick your brain and see what you think's going on here with everything. It's weird stuff for sure. And did my 4, was that part of this ordeal? Probably not. Probably something that I've done. I did have some questions. I'm going to go ahead and I'll comment about those questions real quick. I had one the other night. He watched a video on the long hive down there when I treated with Apivar. And this guy asked me, he said, how come that you treat, but you never test? Well, I do test. I do mite washes quite often, but I don't film them. And I've done a few videos on mite washes, but I'm going to be honest, it's not very exciting to see me stand there shaking a little old can around for a minute. Maybe I can start giving you an update, when I do it, what we found. But I can tell you right now that I do most of my mite washes after all the treatments and before going into the fall to see, who I need to hit hard with oxalic acid is what I usually do. And I can tell you that they was all low. Virtually hardly any mites whatsoever in any of them now. And then, like I said, I gave them some oxalic acid a couple times in the winter. But could have been another virus, a new virus. I don't know. So we'll find out, I guess. But to answer your question, I do mite washes. I don't film. I don't film them. I don't do it on everybody. I'll pick me out 2 or 3, and I just go from there. Especially the ones that's not eating. I try to do that to see who's, is not doing too well. But so I do treat, and I do mite washes. Now I went ahead and I treat, even if I didn't do mite washes. I'll be honest with you, I would still treat. It's not going to hurt anything to treat. I think it's a good thing. A lot of people's treatment free. If you could do that, that's fine. It's your bees. Do what you want, but I'm gonna treat. And this year, probably not going to try the Apivar. I may switch it up if I can get a break in the weather and it's not 152 degrees. I'd like to do some Apigard, the thymol. Probably do a half a dose. See what I can do with that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I am going to do some oxalic acid before the flow starts here this spring. So hit everybody a couple rounds again. So guys, I don't know. Let me know what you think. I will say this, as far as the weather, we've had a lot of cold. We've had a lot of snow. I mean, we've had a lot of snow. Pretty much the whole month of January was snow covered. We've not seen the ground a whole lot. And here we are in February. We had a good week or so, but we've had a lot of cold weather and we've had more snow. It looks like we're not through it yet. It's coming again, looks like, and I hope they're wrong. The reason I said that is I've got a guy or a gal, I'm not sure, but somebody there in New Zealand, and we text back and forth, message back and forth quite often. They're in the middle of they're getting ready to come out of summer and getting ready to go into their fall. And we talked a little bit about the weather, and they seen how this was here, and pretty similar to the kind of weather they had last year for them. And they had a lot of cold, they had a lot of snow, and the guy did say, or gal, I gotta quit saying that, but whoever that person is, they did say that this year's flow has been unbelievable. They've had a really good flow there in New Zealand where he's at, and he attributes a lot of that to the moisture in the ground from all the snow that they've had. So I'm hoping and I'm praying that this year, same thing for us. We definitely have got a lot of moisture in the ground. In fact, we've had some terrible flooding issues really close by. I've actually had a couple friends that got hit pretty hard with the flooding that happened there in Kentucky. So I hope that this will be a good flow year. So time will tell. So I don't know. That's about it, guys. A couple weeks away, I'd say, to the red maple. See what it's going to do. We start getting a little bit of pollen coming in. That'll be great. I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, next week, try to pop the tops, make sure everybody's got a little food on the top. We'll go that route. Limp them along. Hopefully everybody limps along till everything starts coming in, and we'll try to get them boosted up and get it heading our way. So, guys, that's about all I got. Not very exciting, just talking on my soapbox again. Ready for this weather to be over and blood to start getting into the bees. So it's not going to be too much longer, I hope. We'll see what happens. If you don't care, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Appreciate that. And as usual, I'd like to say God bless you. God bless your family. God bless your bees. I hope you and your family's well. I hope you and your bees are well. I hope that you have a great bee season, guys. I do. I hope everything's going good in your life. And we're just about through this whole nasty weather, I believe. So maybe another round or two, and we'll be at the end of the tunnel when we before you even know it, it'll be over. And so then everybody will be complaining about how hot it is, but you'll not hear me complain. So anyway, that's about it. And appreciate you joining in. And guys, take care of yourselves. And I love each and every one of you. And until the next time, this is Tim, the Boone County Beekeeper. Thanks for stopping by.